The unfortunate truth about creatine side effects. What if I told you that one of the most popular supplements in the world comes with side effects that almost nobody talks about? Now, before anyone panics, creatine is still one of the most researched supplements available. Millions of people take it safely every day, but that doesn't mean it's perfect for everyone. The unfortunate truth is that many people start taking creatine without understanding how it affects their body, and when unexpected side effects show up, they're completely caught off guard. So today, we're breaking down the real side effects of creatine, separating myths from facts, and discussing what you should know before adding it to your daily routine. And trust me, number 7 is something most people never expect. But before we begin, drop your name and the city you're watching from in the comments below. Alright, let's get started. Number 1. The scale may suddenly go up. Have you ever started taking a health supplement, stepped on the scale a week later, and immediately thought, wait, why am I gaining weight? If so, you're definitely not alone. In fact, this is one of the very first changes many people notice after starting creatine. Within just a few days or weeks, the number on the scale can suddenly jump by a couple of pounds, and honestly, if you weren't expecting it, that can feel pretty alarming. But here's the good news. In most cases, it's usually not body fat. Creatine works by pulling extra water into your muscle cells. That additional water helps support muscle hydration, performance, and recovery. As a result, your muscles hold more fluid, which can increase your overall body weight, even if your diet, exercise routine, and calorie intake haven't changed at all. The surprising part is that this effect is actually one of the reasons creatine works so well. Better hydrated muscles often perform better during physical activity and may recover more efficiently afterward. Some people even notice that their muscles look slightly fuller, firmer, or more defined within the first few weeks. For them, it feels like an added bonus. But for others, especially those trying to lose weight, the experience can be confusing and frustrating. They see the scale moving in the wrong direction and assume something has gone wrong. That's why understanding the difference between water weight and fat gain is so important. Fat gain happens gradually over time. Creatine-related weight changes, on the other hand, often happen quickly because they're tied to muscle hydration, not increased body fat. And honestly, once people understand what's actually happening inside their body, that unexpected number on the scale becomes a lot less stressful and a lot easier to put into perspective. Number 2, your stomach may not be happy. Here's a side effect that gets blamed on creatine all the time, but honestly, creatine itself isn't always the real problem. Some people start taking creatine and quickly experience bloating, stomach discomfort, nausea, cramps, or even loose stools. Naturally, they assume the supplement doesn't agree with their body and decide to stop taking it altogether. But in many cases, the issue isn't creatine itself. The real culprit is often the way people take it. A lot of beginners go online, see aggressive loading protocols, and immediately start taking huge amounts because they want faster results. They think more must be better. Unfortunately, their digestive system often has a very different opinion. When large doses of creatine are taken all at once, the stomach and intestines can struggle to handle it comfortably. That's when digestive issues are most likely to show up. The funny thing is that many of these problems can often be avoided with a much simpler approach. Instead of trying to rush the process, many people do perfectly well with a smaller daily dose taken consistently over time. In fact, for most adults, patience usually works better than overload. A steady routine is often easier on the digestive system while still allowing muscles to gradually build up their creatine stores. And honestly, this is a great reminder that more isn't always better when it comes to supplements. Sometimes people create side effects by trying to force faster results. Meanwhile, those who take a moderate, consistent approach often experience fewer stomach issues and a much smoother overall experience. So if digestive discomfort shows up after starting creatine, it's worth looking at the dosage and timing before assuming the supplement itself is the problem. In many cases, a simple adjustment can make all the difference. Number 3. You may need more water than you think. What if the biggest side effect people blame on creatine isn't actually creatine at all? What if it's dehydration? That may sound surprising, but it happens more often than most people realize. Because creatine increases water storage inside your muscle cells, your body may need more fluids to keep everything functioning properly. The problem is that many people start taking creatine without making any changes to their hydration habits. Then, A few days or weeks later, they begin experiencing headaches, fatigue, dry mouth, dizziness, or muscle cramps. Naturally, they assume the supplement is causing problems, but in many cases, the real issue is much simpler. They're just not drinking enough water. Think of it this way. If your muscles are pulling in and holding more water, your body needs extra fluids to support that process. When hydration falls behind, you may start feeling sluggish, tired, or generally off without realizing why. And honestly, this becomes even more important as we get older. Dehydration can sneak up on us much faster than it did when we were younger. Many adults don't feel thirsty as often, even when their body actually needs fluids. That makes it easy to fall behind without noticing it. The good news is that this is often one of the easiest issues to fix. Simply paying closer attention to hydration and drinking fluids consistently throughout the day can make a huge difference in how you feel. In fact, many people who think creatine is causing side effects discover that the symptoms improve once they start meeting their body's hydration needs. So, before blaming creatine, it may be worth asking a simple question. Am I actually drinking enough water? Sometimes the answer to the problem is much simpler than it seems. Number 4. Not everyone responds the same way. Here's an unfortunate truth that most supplement advertisements rarely talk about. Creatine doesn't work exactly the same way for everyone. A lot of marketing makes it seem like every person who takes creatine will experience identical results. But real life is much more complicated than that. Some people notice clear improvements in strength, workout performance, recovery, and muscle fullness within a few weeks. Others experience more subtle changes that take longer to recognize. And some people simply respond better than others. Now, that doesn't mean the supplement is fake or ineffective. It just means every body is different. Your genetics, diet, muscle mass, activity level, training style, age, and even your natural creatine stores can influence how much benefit you notice. For example, someone who is very active and consistently strength trains may experience different results than someone who rarely exercises. Likewise, people who naturally have lower creatine levels may notice larger improvements than those who already have higher stores to begin with. And honestly, this is why comparing your progress to someone else's can be incredibly misleading. You might see someone online claiming they gained strength immediately or completely transformed their physique in a month. Meanwhile, your own progress may look much slower. That doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It simply means your body is responding in its own way. The most important thing is to focus on your own improvements rather than someone else's highlights. Are your workouts getting a little better? Is recovery improving? Do daily activities feel easier? Are you becoming more consistent over time? Those are the changes that matter most, because at the end of the day, the goal isn't to match somebody else's results. The goal is to help your own body become stronger, healthier, and more capable than it was before. Number 5. The bloating can be mentally frustrating. Have you ever looked in the mirror after starting a new supplement and thought, wait, do I look different already? It's a surprisingly common experience for people who begin taking creatine. During the first few weeks, some users notice that their body looks slightly fuller than usual. Others describe feeling a bit puffy or bloated and immediately wonder if they're gaining fat or retaining too much weight. But in many cases, what they're seeing is simply the result of increased water retention inside the muscles. Creatine helps draw water into muscle cells, which is one of the ways it supports muscle performance and recovery. That extra water can subtly change how the body looks, even before noticeable strength gains occur. Interestingly, people react to this effect very differently. Some love it. They enjoy the fuller, more muscular appearance and see it as a sign that the supplement is working. Others feel uncomfortable because their body suddenly looks different than it did a few weeks earlier. And honestly, that reaction is completely understandable. The physical change itself may be relatively small, but the mental impact can be much bigger, especially for people who closely monitor their weight, body shape, or appearance. A slight difference in the mirror or a small increase on the scale can sometimes create more concern than the actual physical change deserves. That's why understanding what's happening ahead of time is so helpful. When people know that temporary changes in muscle hydration are a normal part of creatine use, they're much less likely to panic or assume something has gone wrong. Sometimes the biggest challenge isn't the physical effect itself, it's simply understanding what your body is doing and why it's happening. Number 6. Unrealistic expectations cause real disappointment. This side effect isn't physical at all, it's psychological, and honestly, it may be more common than people realize. Thanks to social media, many people start taking creatine with wildly unrealistic expectations. They see dramatic before and after photos, viral transformation videos, and claims about explosive muscle growth. Suddenly, they expect bigger muscles, endless energy, and incredible workout performance within a matter of days. Then, reality shows up. The truth is that creatine usually works much more quietly than the internet makes it seem. Most of its benefits happen gradually. Strength improves little by little. Recovery gets slightly better over time. Workouts become a bit more productive. Muscles may feel fuller, and physical performance may improve but rarely overnight. The problem is that when expectations are unrealistic, disappointment often follows. Some people assume creatine isn't working simply because they don't experience a dramatic transformation in the first week or two. Others quit taking it before the real benefits have had time to develop. Ironically, creatine may be working exactly as intended the entire time. That's why having realistic expectations is so important. The people who tend to get the best results are usually the ones who understand that progress takes time. They focus on small improvements, stay consistent, and allow those benefits to build month after month. Sometimes the biggest obstacle isn't the supplement. It's expecting instant results in a process that was always meant to be gradual. Number 7. Some people become too dependent on supplements. Here's a side effect almost nobody talks about, and it has nothing to do with muscles, water weight, or recovery. It's a mindset trap that can quietly slow down progress. After seeing their first improvements, some people start believing creatine is responsible for everything. Their workouts feel better, their muscles look fuller, and their strength starts improving. Before long, they begin treating the supplement as the secret behind all their results. But that's where the problem begins. They focus so much on creatine that they start overlooking the things that truly drive long-term progress. Regular exercise, quality sleep, good nutrition, stress management, and consistency. Those habits are what create real, lasting change. Creatine simply helps support them. The unfortunate truth is that no supplement can replace healthy habits. There's no powder, pill, or shortcut that can make up for poor sleep, inconsistent workouts, or a diet that doesn't support your goals. Think of creatine as a helpful teammate, not the star player. It can help your muscles perform better and recover more efficiently, but it can't do the work for you. And honestly, the people who get the best results usually understand this. They use creatine as one small piece of a much bigger picture. They stay active, eat well, prioritize recovery, and stick with healthy habits long enough to see progress happen. Because at the end of the day, creatine can support your efforts, but your daily habits are still what determine your success. The real secret has never been the supplement. It's the consistency behind it. Number 8. The biggest side effect is often misunderstanding. And here's the most unfortunate truth of all. Many people spend so much time worrying about creatine that they completely ignore the things that actually have the biggest impact on their results. They get caught up in myths, rumors, and scary stories they've heard online. They worry about things that may never affect them, while overlooking the habits that truly matter. Staying hydrated, taking an appropriate dose, managing expectations, exercising consistently, sleeping well, and maintaining a healthy lifestyle. The reality is much less dramatic than the internet often makes it seem. Creatine isn't a miracle supplement that will transform your body overnight. But it's not some dangerous substance that needs to be feared either. For most healthy adults, creatine is simply a tool. A useful tool, a well-researched tool, and for many people, a helpful one. But at the end of the day, it's still just a tool. And like any tool, its value depends largely on how you use it. A hammer can help build a house, but it can't build the house by itself. In the same way, creatine can support your workouts, recovery, and physical performance. But it can't replace the habits that create long-term success. The people who get the best results are usually the ones who keep things simple. They stay active, eat well, drink enough water, get adequate rest, and use supplements as support, not as shortcuts. Because when you strip away all the hype, that's what creatine really is. Not a magic solution, not a problem to fear, but one small piece of a much bigger picture. And that bigger picture is still built on the daily choices you make over time. So, what's the unfortunate truth about creatine side effects? It's not that creatine is secretly harmful, it's that many people start taking it without understanding what to expect. Weight gain from water retention, digestive issues, hydration needs, and unrealistic expectations can all create problems if you're unprepared. But when used correctly, creatine remains one of the most studied and widely used supplements available. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever tried creatine? Did you experience any side effects, good or bad, that surprised you? Share your experience in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next health and wellness video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.